What's up, everybody? Welcome to your hand of the day for Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. In this one, we are getting all the chips out of a sticky player. Let's see how we did it. All right, friends. Ace 4 suited. Early-ish position. Middle position. Hijack. Folds to us, we got 36 bigs. Everybody around the table has 30 plus. Pretty early stages of a tournament. We're going to raise this all day. And we get a call from the big blind. Standard poker so far. Flop, ace, jack, 6 rainbow. Don't hate it. Our opponent's going to check everything to us because with 2 Broadway cards, that is a great board for us and not a great board for them. So you can see we're betting everything on this kind of board. We're not scared of any hand. I was curious about my bet sizing. I chose 33%. I guess I could have gone smaller. But I like that 33% bet when we're this deep. So that's what I did. And the big blind calls. All right, cool. What are they calling with? Well, they're going to call with any ace, any 6, any jack. We have an ace, so they probably don't. So jack, X, 6, X is what we're thinking about. Turn card's an ace. Now they got to keep checking. Now they definitely don't have an ace. I shouldn't say that. There's a possibility they have an ace, but it's very, 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 very small. So bet sizing. I'm thinking about I want all the chips in the middle. And what I'm hoping is this opponent has a jack and they just don't believe that I have an ace. And some people might look at this and say, well, why wouldn't they think you have an ace? There's like 2 aces out on the board and you raised. Well, we've talked about this in past reviews. It's actually very, very hard to have the card that pairs on the, like when the top card pairs on the board. It's pretty rare that you actually have that card. So we kind of luck into this hand. And that's probably the way they were thinking about it too. So I decided to size up my bet again because I want all the chips in. I can bet that much. You can see I bet 83%. Well, let me show you. That's what I did. I bet 83%. And I can do that. I can go smaller. It's kind of whatever you want. And now our opponent calls, and now I'm thinking they have a jack. I'm not really worried about anything else. I'm not worried at all, honestly. This is one of those rare situations where you don't have to worry about what your opponent has. All you have to think about is how do I get all the chips in? So I intentionally bet that 83% so that you can see here when we get to the river, the pot has 27 bigs in it. I have 23 bigs behind, so it's just a little under a pot size bet if I go all in. I would do this with a lot of hands. I would obviously do it with all my aces, but I would do it with some bluffs too. I would do it with, you can see here, King 4. If you had a King 4 and you were playing 3 streets of betting, you would bluff with that. Basically, any good draws on the flop, or really any cards with blockers, you're going to continue to bluff. So I would have some bluffs in here. So I decided to just do it and pray that they get too sticky with a jack. Please, 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 please call. Please call, please call. And they call. And they show down Queen Jack. So I don't know, that's sticky. That's sticky. I think they're supposed to fold. Let's see. They're supposed to fold queen jack, king jack. Obviously, they're going to call jack nine. I don't know why jack eight would be a call. Maybe because I got to think about that. Does it unblock my bluffs? Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. Because yeah, so like if the opponent doesn't have a queen or a king, then there's an increased likelihood that I have a queen or a king, which is in my bluffing range. And so they want me to have bluffs. So when they have a king or a queen, that's actually bad, which is a really interesting concept, right? But blocking and unblocking bluffs is something that I'm starting to learn more about. So I guess that now that I think about it, it does make sense that Jack 8 would be a call, but Queen Jack and King Jack would not be a call. Um, so anyway, they picked the wrong hand to call with, and we take all the chips. And sometimes it's just as easy as that. Most times it's not. All right, we'll stop there. See you next.